Welcome to Follow Your Joy podcast, where intuition is the doorway to your elevated creativity, more joy, and prosperity. I'm your host, Marla Diane, and I've been living an intuitive life for decades as a creative. That translates to transforming creative entrepreneurs' lives for over 27 years through two businesses as a business strategist and a life designer. And prior to that, an entertainment publicist and talent manager. Follow Your Joy is an entrepreneurial resource for creatives sharing their challenge to victory stories through the lens of listening to their intuition. It's time to make joy your inner GPS for life and business decisions rather than lean on your logic and reason first. You'll not only be following what is most authentic for you, but you will live the beautiful life meant just for you. Want to learn how to access, trust, or up-level your intuition? Join me in the conversation to find out how. Hi, creatives. How you doing today? So imagine saying to yourself, I finally have the life I love and want. What do you really want to prioritize in your life that you've been pushing aside? And I mean the big ones, not just the much needed walks in nature, quiet time, midweek getaways to the museum, and a plane ride to visit relatives or a good friend. That's all good. I'm talking life-altering priorities, a solo trip to Tuscany or Mallorca, monetizing your soul's calling, moving abroad and reinventing your career. How about a deep renovation of your home or your identity? Here's the truth. Your desires, not goals, your desires aren't just whimsical wishes. They're meant to transform you. And to manifest them, you need more than willpower and spreadsheets. I aspire for you to define success through a new paradigm, one rooted in feminine wisdom, intuitive strategy, structure, actions, and an embodied new identity. The new paradigm, the blend of feminine and masculine energies and traits, not just goal setting, it's achievement of your top desires and your measurable goals. And that's my creative achievement formula. This methodology was born, I know, from my own major burnout to breakthrough, which was a turning point that became my gift in the challenge. And since 2018, women from all walks of life have changed their success metrics and have thrived. This methodology is the core and the heart of what you'll experience in your soul-led next level portal starting January 28th for a 90-day experience. The portal is for the ambitious woman ready to live and work differently, with her desires in the driver's seat and her intuition at the wheel. You are in the stage of life wanting to create your next chapter with a refined identity ushering you in 2026 and throughout. So I carefully curate this portal with a synergy of 5 to 8 committed women. Enrollment is happening now till the spots are filled. I do offer special rates at various times of this enrollment period, so be on the watch or ask. Use the link in the show notes to connect or email support@marladiane.com asking to talk, and we'll find available dates for us to explore your next chapter and see if we are a match to take you there. If group gathering, by the way, is not your thing and you want one-on-one mentoring instead on this next chapter, new success metrics methodology, go ahead and say so in your email or the form using the link below. I have several options just for you. Okay, now on to my next guest on Follow Your Joy. Here comes another enlightening conversation. Hello, hello, creatives. Happy New Year. Here we are in my gosh, 2026. Wow. Yeah. I have a lot to say about that, but not right now. So let's let's combine transformation, the love of travel, creativity, gathering, and helping women feel safe, heard, and understood. And you have my guest in a nutshell. Well, I call this part, or excuse me, I call part of it transformational travel, where we use our travels deliberately for transformation of our life. In other words, much like, and those of you that have heard many times about my transformation due to going to Italy now 4 times. And transformational travel, it's a thing, it's real. It's not just a phrase. And in fact, there's a council up in Seattle called Transformational Travel Council. And you can actually get certified to be a transformational travel coach. So it's real. So my guest is a pure delight to talk with, and you'll feel her love of humanity and her vivacious personality. So let's welcome Lisa Schoenthal.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is like a big drum roll and a round of applause. Oh my gosh, thank you for having me, Marla. It's
Course,
amazing.
of course. My pleasure. So let's, of course, give our listeners a little bit of appropriate intro. So Lisa is a storyteller, retreat leader, podcast host, and the powerhouse behind Breath of Freedom, a movement devoted to empowering women to live fully and freely with passion and purpose. And her work is all about creating sacred spaces for real, ladies, through retreats, storytelling, movement, and deep conversation, and fun and dance, which you'll hear. And she's the host of Sip Tea with Me podcast. I love that title. And the author of The Men We Meet 15 Key Lessons Learned in Love. She shares her hard-won wisdom, oh goodness sakes, on that topic for
Yeah.
sure, right? From her journey through reinvention, heartbreak, healing, and global adventures. See, there's that travel again.
Mhm.
So after leaving her high pressure career in special event sales, which you'll hear more details in a moment, and later becoming a flight attendant at 47 years old, Lisa discovered that her greatest joy truly came from helping women come home to themselves and create community. Right? So talk about a real solid brand. And we'll find out what all that means. And Lisa's like she's like a soul sister. And I love how she explains a soul sister with sass. That's Lisa. She's got great energy. And you do feel heard when you're with her, right? You just do. And she considers herself a truth teller with a passport. See the theme kind of running through this, and a guide for women who are done performing, amen, over
Yeah.
people pleasing, yes, 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 and are ready to find, right, their people, claim their power, and live a wildly aligned life. And Lisa, I'm going to kind of share a little bit how we met.
Great.
So this was way back in 2014. Oh my gosh. So was that how many years? Is that 11 years?
Thir-
Something like that?
thir- 12,
12? Okay.
almost 12.
Whatever it is, almost 12 years. Is Lisa was in a personal branding and money relationship mastermind group that I was coaching. And we met from a mutual friend, and have been connected ever since, kind of on and off since then, right? And interesting, a few months ago, after not being connected for quite a while, probably about
Yeah.
8 years, is that Lisa commented on one of my LinkedIn posts about my soul-led next level portal, right, program. And I looked and went, oh, Lisa, oh my gosh, what is she doing? So, right, I reached out to you on
Timing.
yeah, it was really terrific. And I, DM'd you and we got together on Zoom and here we are. So thank goodness for
The
our
universe conspires.
neighbors and social media being able to do that. I loved it. When you popped up on that comment, I went, wow, a blast from the past. How is she doing? All right, good. So that's where we stand. So let's do this. Let's first move into kind of highlights of what happened that brought you to creating spaces for soul-led women to transform.
Mm, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I guess it's kind of really my whole life happened. Every little piece is part of it. So, I've had this dream for a really long time. As a special events coordinator, I had a career where I worked a lot during, say, March to September, but then I had all this time off after, and I was making really good money. So there was that. So I had the opportunity to travel myself. And I'm just going to say, when you were talking about in the intro about how transformational travel is a thing, it's becoming more and more of a thing. But for me, travel has always been transformational. There's never been a moment where it wasn't. I remember going on the airplane for the first time in fourth grade with my grandmother. She took my brother and I to Hawaii, and it was like, we actually met OJ Simpson on that flight. Can you believe that? So before all the things.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
but it was really an eye opener to me to get on a plane with all these people and to go see this new destination with different foods and different flavors. I mean, Hawaii's not super exotic, but it was for me. Um, and it just kind of raveled from there. Our family didn't travel a lot. We were sort of campers. I have siblings that are 10 years younger. So we were at home, like not doing a lot of that. But as I became an adult and could travel myself, it became something that I found was deep in my soul. I'm definitely a gypsy. I'm definitely a nomad. My soul, not just in this lifetime, but in lots of lifetimes before, if you believe in that stuff, has taken me on these nomadic journeys. And it's actually, I feel a little more at home traveling and exploring than I do oftentimes at home. So, what inspired me? I don't know. Like I said, everything inspired me. But what happened was when I was traveling so often, like I did a 3 month around the world trip in between one of my, events, being off from events. And I was having people asking me, what's the deal with you? Are you a trust funder? How do you travel like this? How do you go all the time? And it was just really sharing with people that you don't, I'm not a trust funder, by the way, yet. So, um, but it was just really about priorities. It was about what's important to me. What kind of growth do I need? I was married really young. I got divorced around 28. I knew in my heart I wanted to travel. He was more of a home guy. He's a great guy, but he was more of a home guy. So when I got divorced, I took that opportunity to really find myself again through travel, to explore what am I like away from home? What am I like away from the conditionings of my family unit, of my losses, my traumas, so to speak? I'm not that into traumas, but we all have them, right? We all have conditioning. So it really gave me the opportunity to begin to feel into who am I? What's my truth? Where can I be the most authentic? And then as people were asking me about these travels, I was realizing people were like, how can we go with you? Or how can you show us this? Or how do you travel solo? That's so scary. I mean, that's a big thing now, but we're talking about 1997.
Yeah.
And I was like off to Asia and I was off to India and I was off to Mexico many times by myself. And people were like, aren't you scared? Don't you get lonely? All the questions. And I was like, no, you actually find your people. You actually are drawn towards your people, towards what's meant for you, if you're just open enough to let it happen. And I wanted to really offer that to women. So I've had this dream in my heart for a very long time. I've hosted several retreats, but as my flight attending, and that's another story, but as my flight attending comes to the end of its tenure, in the next few months, I was in my heart like, what do I really want to do? And then it was just like, I want to bring all the things, like, what's joyful to me? Oh, dancing's joyful to me, connecting's joyful to me,
Mhm.
hanging out and traveling with other women is joyful to me, showing people I'm a host. I'm a host on the plane. I'm a host at my podcast. I'm a host if you come to my house for dinner. I'm a host at eWomen Network. They
Yeah.
put me in, I'm always the hostess. So, it was really like, how can I bring other women into this and help them truly find themselves? Because I think we're in a time where we all need to find our sovereignty and our own truth and really step into it. So that's a long answer to a really
Well,
beautiful question.
it's a good intro. There's more to it, but yeah, I mean, the through line is always this travel, right? And that's also one of my favorite things
Yeah,
is travel because it's like as you're sharing it and talking about one, it's so exciting. It's
I
just,
know.
I mean, solo travel, oh my gosh, amazing.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes.
talk about your own self-development course. It's
Yeah.
so thrilling to meet
Hmm.
new people, right? To be out and learning new customs and getting out of your routines. And,
Yes.
it's like breaking your patterns and just like, it's so exciting.
It is. And don't you notice, like, I think this is one of the best kept secrets about solo travel is that when people ask about being lonely or being alone, which I think is funny because it's like one of my favorite places to be,
Yeah.
is do you find when you solo travel that you'll just be sitting having whatever, you're in Italy and you're having your little cappuccino or whatever you're doing, and people will approach you. Someone will talk to you. You'll
Right.
find you're invited to someone's house
Always.
for dinner. You're going to
Always.
an island on a boat. It's you're
It's
never alone.
You're never alone. And you can choose when you want to be alone. Let's say, you say,
Mhm.
maybe I think I want to sit over here by myself, or
Very
maybe I'll go
much.
back to my Airbnb. You have that total control over it. But
Yeah.
that's the point is when you immerse yourself in the culture, which
Hmm.
is the people, the food, the architecture, all of that. Yes, it's like you're never alone. Are you kidding? I've met, as you have, I've met wonderful people on my travels.
Yeah.
Many of them, still stay connected. Each time I go
Hmm.
back, I see them when I go to Italy. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
you're
This
never
is
alone.
what friends say to me too, is like, how do you have friends all over the world? And I'm like, well, I mean, when I landed in India in this little town outside of Goa, and we're all there and we're all solo travelers and we're all there for 4 or 5 days, you become family, you have dinner together, you become friends. And you know what? One of them lives in Germany and one of them lives in Switzerland and one of them lives in Australia. And guess who's the ultimate couch surfer? Me. So, as you build your communities, it's a beautiful thing. But I also felt like, even though I was loving solo travel, I felt like there was a part of me that wanted that community again, that wanted to take people and show them and say, hey, I can offer you this safe, exciting, fun, cultural opportunity that maybe you're not ready to go on by yourself.
Yeah.
And we just got back from retreat. My girlfriend and I hosted La Vida Sagrada, and we just got back, and it was like so beautiful to be with these women and to really feel the community of storytelling and that culture and showing the Australians a new culture in Mexico. So it's just, yeah, it fills your heart. It really fills your heart up and makes you bliss out.
Completely. And let's have you kind of share a little more about that because it fits with, the theme, obviously, of the podcast, Follow Your Joy.
Yes.
And that's, so that's part of, and let's hear, really what brings you the most joy in your work that you do with the women. We get the right, airlines. That's a separate discussion.
Find the joy, find the joy.
Yeah, no. We're here to talk about you, the transformational guide and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are the things that really, although you've kind of alluded to it, that really bring you a ton of joy?
Yes. Well, I'm just going to say this about the flight attending. It did take me a little while because I didn't pursue that career. It pursued me in a weird way. And I'm not going to tell that whole story, but The flight attending, I came to terms with that. With I had the opportunity as a flight attendant again when I'm flying in one day, I may touch 2,000 people in one day between being in the airport, four different flights, hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye. I might be the only person that actually smiles at someone. So I really embraced, it took me almost 2 years to do it, but I really embraced that I was in this career path for a little while to bring more joy to the world, to make flying funner, to help people really have experiences.
Mm.
It's a thread, right? It's just a thread. When I have my podcast, I want people to have an experience. When I take them on a trip, I want them to have an experience. When I teach my yoga class, I want them to have an experience. So there's definitely a choice. Joy is a choice. Blissing out is a choice. Sometimes we fake it till we make it. On the plane, I'm just gonna say I have to fake it a lot. I'm gearing up for that tomorrow. But I feel like what really brings me joy is seeing these women come to life. So my girlfriend and I, this retreat that we did, this last retreat was in Mexico for Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. It's where the Mexican culture believes that the portal opens up to our lost loved ones and that their spirits come back to be with us. It's beautiful, vibrant, exciting, gorgeous way to look at death and our connection to our people, to spirit. Um, and it was so incredible to see, like, so we had a lot of Australians come and they've never been to Mexico. So it was beautiful and joyful in my heart to see them experience this new culture that they had told not to experience. You know, everyone's saying it's unsafe there, don't go there. We were talking about this before, is like, it is. You have to be careful wherever you travel. You have to be mindful wherever you go, even out your door and over to Costco. But it's really seeing them come to life. And my girlfriend that hosted with me, we talked about this a lot because she works as a grief counselor, and I said it's time for people to maybe not that grief isn't okay, but it's time to bring joy back into lives. Like a lot of the things with grief is that we're sitting in it and it's like heavy. And it's amazing to be able to get on a boat and just dance together and to sing and to have something in on your taste buds that you've never tasted before. To be under the moonlight, just the sun comes down. We had a full moon rise right behind us. We took a sailboat trip and we're talking about those people that we remember that we love that inspired us. Sip Tea with Me, the podcast, is fully inspired by my grandmother, and she's gone. I mean, she's never really gone, but she's not on the
Not
planet, right?
physically, but through
And
flavor, yeah.
the
Hmm.
generational wisdom, the stories we tell each other, it helps us to heal and to grow and again to find ourselves. So, this joy and passion that I find for all of it is really just because I love people so much. I love, love, love everyone's unique and individual journey. And I feel that when we journey together, that is expanded.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's to be able to be there, and both of us being transformational coaches, it's in our DNA, right?
Totally.
We love humanity, and to be able to have a hand in somebody's trajectory,
Mm,
right, in their life, that you've
yeah.
actually been able to, from the heart, from loving them through it
Yes.
and seeing their brilliance and before they can, and really being able to guide them to a
Yes.
better place. I mean, it's like the old, to me, it's the ultimate joy.
It is. It's like I always think of this little side gig business that I don't have yet, but just about being a cheerleader, like having a 15-minute call where someone can call and get hyped up. It's really
Mhm.
allowing people to see themselves, really giving this space where they can step back and be like, wow, I actually am this amazing person. I have all of these things to offer. These broken parts are the parts that are some of my superpowers. I think that's a lot of it. So I agree. We're here to transform ourselves and to remember who we are, but in that remembrance, we're
Yeah.
helping each other do that too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and it goes to this, and this is my belief in our purpose. Yes, there's a lot of purposes out there, right? Your purpose is that, to be a
Yes.
gypsy, right? My purpose is this. But overall, my truth and belief is as a human on this planet,
Hmm.
our purpose is to evolve.
Hmm.
And the only thing that
Completely.
stops us from evolving is what we call our ego mind, our
Yeah.
beautiful brain, our old
Hmm.
wiring, right? It's the way the brain is wired. It
Yes.
always wants predictability and control. It's a recording machine, right? It's
Yeah.
not the operating system in our brain has not been upgraded in millions of years. Right. So point being is that's the only thing, which is also, your own will, but that's the only thing that stops us from evolving. So when we can do the transformational travel, hire coaches,
Hmm.
right? Have people support us in evolving. It
Yes.
can be challenging by yourself, right? Because of this beautiful noggin up here.
Yes.
Yeah, is that the true purpose is evolve, right?
Very much.
We
Our
just,
ego has a purpose. It's just we let it,
just
we give it too much
that
uh,
we give
time and
the time and
energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a time
It's
and place
really
for that.
right. Like our ego, I always think of it like this, like our ego is what maybe protects us. So
That's right.
it can be a tool to suss out fear. It can
Right.
be a tool, but it can be if you let it go, it can be something that takes over, right? And
Right.
plays this record over and over.
Right.
But it can also be a, like, is this right for me? Is it not?
Yeah.
But we have to use it in partnership with our heart, mostly our heart, like dropping back into our heart, because I think our thinking mind, it is that loop, like you said, and our heart is really where it's at. We can feel, and then our gut is right there next to the heart, right? It's just right below it. And it's if we tune into our gut and we really ask what we want and what we need, and does this feel good to me? Our gut's probably gonna shift around a little bit and be like, no, or yes. And it's
Yeah.
gonna slide right up into our heart with good feelings, and you're gonna know, like,
Yeah.
that feels good to me.
Yeah.
And if it's not, it's coming from your head and into
Right.
your heart, and it feels icky.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I taught kids for a little while. So
It's a simplistic way to put it, but it's a great segue to then to talk about intuition, which is a big part of the
yes.
platform. Because
Yeah.
what you've described and what we're talking about, the difference between listening to your brain and listening to your intuition.
Mm,
And that's, yeah, let's talk about that. So crucial. And the difference
very.
between, and you did a, pretty simplistic version of what's the difference between listening to your ego mind,
Yeah.
right, and your intuition. And on a side note, I agree with you. There is a time and place for our brain. There is a time and place
Yeah.
for our thinking system. Of course, we have to have it. It's structured system. It's, linear. It's function. It's all those things we need. But there's a time and place, and
Yeah.
it is not in the evolution of who you are.
Yes.
Your brain, your ego mind does
Yeah.
not belong in the space of transformation.
Yeah.
Helping, structure it, helping move it forward, absolutely, from the
Yes.
guidance you get from your intuition, right?
Yes.
These are things, oh my God,
Yeah, our society just gives our thinking mind like so much
way
credit,
too much power,
from school to college to whatever.
way too much power.
We give it a lot of power, and that's probably a distraction. That's
Correct.
again, another subject, but
Yeah.
we do give it a lot of power, and it's but it's part of, like, again, from yoga, it's the mind, the body, the spirit, the emotions,
Oh,
and we're really here to master our emotional state
right.
and how things come at us. So fear is one of the biggest things. I love the book, and I can't remember the author right now, but one of my favorite books from ages ago is Love is Letting Go of Fear. And I don't like a lot of complex things. I like simplicity a lot. And for me, one of the biggest transformations happened when I started saying to myself, are you loving right now, or are you in fear? Like, just everything, because everything comes back to that. If I'm angry, I'm in fear. If I'm dancing blissfully, I'm in love. It just kind of brought it down. So it was really easy for me to start making some behavioral shifts and some mindset shifts by just asking myself an easy question. But
That's
we
right.
all get there in different ways.
Yeah.
But intuition is definitely our greatest tool. And I think it's something we all have. And it's just about coming back to it. And it's also about quieting the mind enough. I'm not going to give a big plug on meditation because I think there's lots of ways to quiet our mind and to find space.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been feeling a lot lately is just listening. I've noticed that
Mm.
the voice has always been there, and a lot of times I ignore it. It just,
Mm.
I just don't listen. It tells me to do one thing, or it tells me to call someone, or it tells me something, and I just kind of blow it off. But I haven't been doing that for the last couple of years, and I find that the intuition muscle is growing quickly, and everything from just being able to tell someone, "Hey, I hear this voice, and I'm supposed to tell you this right now." I recently had spirit come through from someone's parents, which is
Oh,
again,
wow. Okay.
I'm not a me. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to say I'm not a medium, but I'm definitely audio voyant, which is like where you hear things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's the point is that the more you open yourself to intuition, the more you take a deep breath and you wait for a moment and pause, the more, of course, you get into nature. I can say all the same things. The more you breathe, the more you the more you come into balance, though, I think is what really the truth
Kind of
is the
quieting the
more,
mind in order to do
yeah,
something to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's and for me, intuition's everything. I mean,
Mhm.
um, it was obvious in my sales career, and I talk to my partner about this sometimes because he's a very successful business person and um, very successful business coach as well, on top of being retired. And he a lot of times will say, "Oh, I'm not intuitive," and I'm like, "But you are,
Yeah,
because
you
to deal
are.
with all these people and to have the success you've had."
Yeah.
You would have had to listen to feelings, gut feelings, and you would have had to take action because a lot of what happens is we have the gut feeling, or we have the voice, or we have the intuition, or we have the dream. I dream too. So there's lots of ways to receive it.
Yeah.
Maybe we run into people like I had someone yesterday talk to me again. Where were we talking about? Traveling to Croatia. And I'm like, this is the third person in a month that's talked to me about this. So sometimes it comes from the outside as
Right.
well, right? Messages from beyond, from the powers,
True. Yeah.
that it's
Okay.
trying to get you on your track, right? So the more you show up, but a lot of times we don't take the action, was where I wanted to come back to, is we don't take the action. I notice it a lot when I drive. I spend a lot of my life as a road rep, and a little voice is like saying, "Don't get on that freeway right now." Like, I think
Yeah.
this is very universal. People feel this one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting on the freeway. I have to go somewhere. But there's always a different route you can take.
So,
And I just didn't listen. I just didn't listen. And then I'm sitting in a pile of traffic. And then I'm like, oh my gosh.
did
Okay.
I
So it
listen
was
to my
just like,
intuition? Yeah.
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 And then telling spirit, or my own higher self or whatever, okay,
Mhm.
you know what? I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to hear. My ears are wide open. My heart's wide open. Let's do this thing, you know?
It's a choice, and I
Yeah.
like to, I mean, let's talk about how to use it in business, right? So
Mhm.
obviously it's a natural for you. You've built that muscle. So talk about how you
Yeah.
use it for business.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of it is, so we both know our networking groups that we're in, and I've sunk into that more because as a flight attendant you don't really live anywhere, but I've kind of settled into my Santa Barbara community here. And I use it to really feel the room, like to really feel energy in the room. That's maybe a little more, I don't know, I don't want to say advanced, but I use it to
Efficient.
when someone introduces themselves to me,
Yeah.
and I'm the host, so they all have to walk past me when they come into the networking event, 45 women the other day, and I get to say hello to all of them, or if they come up to me, and I will sit in my gut, very present, and be like, how do you feel in this person's presence? How does this make you feel? Are your hands tingling? Is your head tingling? Do you just feel joyful? Do you feel blissed out? Do you feel their energy as high that it could, because I obviously have a bit of an energy situation going on. So I feel like for me personally, I have to have reciprocal energy levels. Not that I don't deal with everyone, but I like to have people in my life who can meet me where I'm at. I like my frequency. I'm raising my frequency. I play sound bowls. I do all the things. Like, frequencies are commodity. It's the commodity of the future. So, my frequency, if my frequency feels like it drops when I'm in someone's presence, I
Mhm.
know that that's not something I want to pursue. It doesn't matter if they're the head of NBC or running the biggest retreat center of all time or whatever. If it doesn't jive with me, if it doesn't, I should say vibe with me, if it doesn't vibe with me, it's just that's okay. They'll vibe with somebody else
Yeah.
and I'll vibe with the person I need to vibe with. And I don't want to spend the time doing,
Good.
in the wrong spot.
Good.
So I just kind of allow it to move on.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I have all kinds of ways I use it, but it's definitely listening to those little messages of, is this something I want to pursue?
Yeah.
I'm also, in my personality type, in my, I don't know, I guess you can say human design, or if you do that, there's a part of me that I learned is it's a, I can kind of do everything. So I'm like, yes, 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 yes. But I really had to learn to say, you know what, let me consider that. Yeah, or no. I
Yes.
mean, if I'm a solid no, I just say
Absolutely.
no now. But before
Yeah.
I was like, nah, wishy-washy. But if I'm like, I'm not sure, this sounds like a brilliant opportunity. This sounds really exciting. I'm excited right now in this moment, but maybe the person has energy like I do. So maybe they got me on their excitement train. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah.
had someone do this the other day where they wanted to go visit someone in Arizona that we both know, and they were really hyped up about it. And I was like, wow, that sounds great. Yeah, that sounds amazing. But then I got an email and it was like, oh, I want to go this date. And I was like, no way, that is not fitting into my schedule during that time. So sometimes what I wanted to say about it is my personality type is that I need to say, I appreciate that, but I'm going to go home and I'm going to sit on it and I'm going to just sit with myself, get away from this energy and sit in my own energy and see how I feel in that space. And I think that's not for everyone, but I think it's for a lot of people. It's for a
Yeah.
lot of people to be able to do that.
Super, super important. So there's a story then that around your intuition that has to do with that 3 month solo trip,
Hmm.
where I mean you tell it that you were listening to your intuition, um, and something like I didn't do it to find something, I did it to release closed doors. In other words, to go.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was much like, and I'll give you an example in my own life. That's what got me to hire the coach that pulled
Hmm.
out of me in our intensive session in Santa
Yes.
Barbara, by the way, to honor my long held dream and desire to work and live here
Mhm.
in Italy.
Yes.
And that was an intuitive, although I was following her for a while and I knew she was going to be kind of my next coach because she was all
Yes.
about traveling, the jet set,
Hmm.
lifestyle, if you will, and working with that.
Yes.
But yeah, is that was an intuitive, okay, I'm going to transform my life
Hmm.
because I was at this major, major burnout.
Yes.
So that's what was going on for you too. You got that
Yes.
internal, right? The
Yes.
intuition, the divine
Yes.
nudge.
Yes. I have lots of these stories, that one in particular. So, um, I was at one point, my special events career, I still do special events. I still am, it's in, anyway, I still do that job at times. But I had been let go. I was the top sales rep and I was let go because my sales manager was like, hey, you know what, you make too much money and I want to make more
Ah,
money. So we're going to get rid
okay.
of you. And I was like, okay, that's all right. So the
Ah,
timing, again, the timing was like how the universe just sort of conspires to set up opportunities. I was like, that's fine. I have a competitor who became my friend. She had also left her company, and she's like, I'm going to show you how to do this without these companies. Okay, great. Well, so I began doing that. I began making more money. And then I was like, you know what? What do I really want? I don't want to work for these guys anymore. I don't want to. I was in a male-dominated industry, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
work in this situation where I'm making these people so much money. I'm killing myself. I'm ruining every relationship I have because I'm on call 24/7. What am I going to do? And so I went out on my own and I began to see that I could make as much money and still do all the things I wanted, but I didn't know what I really wanted. So I decided I kept having these, of course, nudges to travel, but I decided that I was going to take this 3-month trip around the world. And of course, I couch surfed some of it. Some of it just happened I don't know, just came out of nowhere. But when I did that, I was telling myself, I had this like mind map of like all these things I could do with my life, write a book, run the retreats. I love kids, so doing kids stuff with kids, like all the things. And I was like, I don't know. So I told myself, I'm going to go on this trip and I'm not going to open any new doors. I was also single at the time and I had been, hence the book, The Men We Meet, 15 Key Lessons Learned in Love, which is about 15 men who've been in my life and my two dads and my brothers. So, and my grandpa. So I was like, I'm not going to open any new doors. I'm just going to see what comes. I'm not going to say yes to anything. I'm just going to see what comes. I'm going to see how it all feels.
You know,
And
witness.
so on this journey, I decided the little voice that kept coming was, oh, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to write this book. You're going to write this book and this is the book. And the book it wasn't for others. It was for me. It was for my own transformation. It was to understand myself. It was to go back through these relationships that were so powerful in my life that I could figure out what was going on. And so that's what happened. But things happened on that trip that were incredible. Like I landed in Bali and too long of a story, but it's probably on one of my podcasts. But I landed in Bali and I met this girl and she was like, meet me at this bar. And I was like, okay. But she was a flake and she didn't show up. But while I was sitting at the bar hanging around, I'm like, let me look at this bar. And I went in and it was like these beautiful purple velvets and it had this music vibing and no one was in there. It was way too early for someone to be there. But it was like, I walked into it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually one of my dreams, one of my visions come to life. So I've always had this vision that I would have a yoga studio that turned into a bar at night and everyone danced.
Oh
So
no.
healthy in the morning and not healthy later on in the day.
Yeah.
So when I walked in there, I was like shocked. I was just like, how could this possibly be? Well, okay, whatever. I go and I sit outside waiting for her, and these two guys are sitting having a beer, and they start talking to me, and because solo travel, right? And the one says, I own the bar. And I was like, no way. And he goes, yeah. I go, this is like my dream come true. And he goes, well, what do you want to do with it? And I tell him, and he says, you can do anything you want in this bar. We don't open up until 7 o'clock at night. If you want to have yoga classes all morning, move to Bali and use my bar to have your classes.
Wow.
I was like, what do you do when one of your biggest visions is plopped right in front of you and your whole mission on this trip is to not open any new doors?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Talk about
But
manifesting, huh?
yeah, so
Yeah.
it was really, and obviously I'm not living in Bali, but that doesn't say I'm not ever gonna.
Sure.
But I knew the timing wasn't right. I knew that wasn't like where I was supposed to do, but it was really beautiful to learn to trust that these
Mhm.
visions that we have, that these things that come to us, they're actually real. And these voices, we need to listen to them. These ideas, these little
Yep.
small inspirations,
Yep.
they're coming from our highest, most beautiful part of our soul and they're calling to us to make choices, to
Right.
listen, and to go for it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our intuition it's spiritual. In other words, it's
Mhm.
not of the 3D world.
Yes.
And it's always meant our intuition. The reason why people like us and thousands of others, and my mentor, Sonia Choquette, it is our intuition is meant to, I move us, evolve us. It's meant for us and us
Mhm.
only. And our brain doesn't belong there in that
Mhm.
there's no logic
No.
in intuition. It's
Yeah.
always very unlogical. It's very free. It's
Yes.
very like, what? Do what?
Yes.
So when we ask our beautiful brain to set aside and stop trying to judge that direction and follow it,
Yes.
and our intuition is all about our good. It's
Yep.
all about our evolution in small and large ways, right?
Yep.
So every story that I've ever heard on this podcast and yours today, it's again when we really get quiet enough and listen to the nudges and their and its actual sensations in our body. It's the vibes. So you're talking about
Yes.
energy and reading people's
Yes.
energy. I do that all the time. It's like you gotta listen. Get
Yes.
quiet enough. Get out of your head. Get into your heart. Right.
Yeah, the
Get
thing
into
is
your
like
body.
we can say to our mind, sometimes I say to my mind, you know what, you're going to have an opportunity. Like you're going to have an
Yeah.
opportunity if you just
Yeah.
quiet down now.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear
Yeah.
and I'm ready to take action,
Action.
I'm going to need
Right.
your
That's
critical
right.
thinking skills
That's
to
right.
like pull it off. And then I'm
Yep.
going to need my powerful body probably to make it happen. And I'm going
That's
to need
it.
my emotions to go with it. So I think it's just kind of learning to work with ourselves. We, I, I don't know if this is another tangent, but I definitely believe that we choose our lifetimes and that our soul, like you said, to
Yeah.
evolve, we choose a lifetime.
Yeah.
So let's just say when we're on the other side, we're in spirit, we're like looking at these movies and I'm like, oh, I could have that movie for my life. I could have that movie. I could play that role to learn these different lessons. And I say, oh, you know what? I'm going to pick that one. All right, great. So I pick it. Well, in that one, I already know that I'm probably going to be learning about bringing lightness to dark because I lost my dad when I was little.
Yeah.
I already know. So when a voice talks to me from like the other side, I'm not scared. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's probably bringing the dark and the light together again. Um,
Yeah.
when I travel to Australia and it's super familiar to me, well, maybe because I already saw it in my movie when I chose my life, so it feels right. So when I arrived there, of all the places I've traveled, I knew my soul was at home. I was like, whoa, this is it.
Yeah.
So I've been there, dozen times,
Yeah.
and I'll keep going back there. So there's these people that we meet. I've been with my partner. I've been with him twice in my life. I knew he would be in my life, and when we weren't together, I kept saying, "But I always thought he was going to help me with business. I always thought he was going to help me with business." And I would have these like dreams at night. And then it was just a matter of timing because for me, I had to do a whole bunch of other things in my life, and so did he, before we could be together again to achieve the things that we agreed, the soul contracts, the agreements. This is a lot of big subjects, but there's books on all these things so that we could do what we agreed to do together. So things oftentimes seem familiar, and if we stop and listen, there's a part of us that's going, "Oh yeah, right. That's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. That's what feels
Yes. Yeah,
good."
for sure. I mean, so the bottom line before we kind of finish up here is what I'm hearing from you is let intuition lead
Mm,
and let your joy be your compass.
yes.
Yeah, I love that. In fact, that might just be the title of this episode.
I absolutely love it. I
I
am all
love
for
it.
it.
Yeah, that's it. So terrific. Where can people get in touch with you and connect and follow you?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking. The easiest place to find me is at lisaschoenthal.com. Everything's there. The podcast is there. Any retreats that are happening are there. My blog is there. All
Oh
the
yeah,
things, all
yeah,
things are there. You get on my email list. I would
yeah.
love that. Have you as part of our community. So yeah, it's the easiest way to go. There's lots of places. I'm on socials. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, and I'll have all this, everybody. I'll have
Yeah.
obviously that
Yeah. The website will send you to all those places
the
too.
show notes. Yeah, and talk to us. I know you have a lovely free gift for our listeners. So
I
what
do.
is it? And that'll be, by the way, everyone. As you know, I have the Portal of Joy, which is that's where all the vetted gifts that my guests offer you. And we choose, my team and I choose what those gifts are to be in the portal. So the link to that portal, which is housed, those gifts are housed. Lisa's gift will be there. She'll explain what it is in a moment. But please use the link below to go sign up. Might have access to Lisa's gift. And when you're in there, you have access to all the other gifts. So go ahead and tell us what you're Yeah.
I love it. I love that you call it the portal because the portal is like what takes us to the next dimension, right? It's the big, wide open
Yeah.
space that
Yeah.
we jump into, head first, heart first, feet first,
That's it.
and we're totally transformed. So I love
Thrill
that
of
you called it
joy.
that.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
It's epic. Yes, I have the Journal for Transformation and Self-Discovery available for all of you. And it's just like the beginning kind of steps to stepping into yourself, like really getting to know yourself. I mean, that is what this is about. We always think about getting to know everyone else, finding lovers and what's my children all about and who are these people I'm meeting on the street and in business. But hey, introduce yourself to yourself, and this is a great way to start.
Oh, good. Yeah. All right, everyone. So you can add that to what I call probably your success library, right?
Yes.
Is download that after you get into the to Portal of Joy. And Lisa's got prompts, right? There are beautiful prompts for you
Yeah.
to begin journaling. And, every one of us transformational, experts have our own unique way to give you prompts. And
Yes.
so, try Lisa's on. Okay.
Yeah. We on at Sip Tea with Me, the podcast, I have prompts almost every single episode because I
Okay.
feel like we
Very
need a little oomph, you
good.
know. It's where I get my inspiration is from other people prompting me.
How,
So
how often, Lisa, is your podcast out?
I drop every week.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, everyone. So
Yeah.
she's got a new episode every week. I love that.
I want to tell you a day I drop, but just for now, it
Just
gets
know
out
it's every
there
week. Okay.
every week.
Look for it and sign up so I assume you send out emails.
I
I
do.
know I get your email every time you send out,
Perfect.
a blog article or your
Excellent.
post. Okay.
Yeah. And the blog just matches the podcast. So it's
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Okay, terrific. Well, Lisa, thank you very
Marla, thank
much.
you. You're
Wonderful.
amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, always. I mean, this could be a much longer episode, but we're gonna stop here. But
You come
yes,
on mine next.
fabulous. Yeah, let me know. Be happy to jump in because I mean we're of the same tribe. We're of the same energy, and yeah, I really appreciate your time. I know time today is truly a priority for people. So thank you for putting that in your calendar
And
and
thank you.
enlightening my audience. So, all right, everyone, please have a wonderful, beginning of the year and check both of us out. I have, in the show notes, links for you to follow and opt in and check, all that good stuff. So, everyone, be blessed, be well, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. You can find more entrepreneurial stories and resources at marladiane.com. And while you're there, enjoy my free downloads to uplevel your business and your life. And Instagram. It's my favorite place to hang out. Let's connect there. If you received inspiration from the episode, I'd sure appreciate a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. Until next episode, take care.